Coming right up on Eyewitness News Nightbeat, the Secretary of State says time may be running out for a Reagan-Gorbachev summit. A service in New Haven remembers the 241 Marines killed 4 years ago in Beirut. 6 games into the NFL season, the defending champion Giants finally look super. And baseball will have a new champion tonight, the Cards and Twins going at it in Game 7 of the World Series. Phil Andrews has sports. Bruce has the back-to-work forecast. Bad news from the foreign markets already open. Candy's off. I'm Jerry Brooks. Join us all for Eyewitness News Nightbeat next.
From Channel 3 Eyewitness News, the news most people watch. This is Eyewitness News Nightbeat with Jerry Brooks, Candy Keefe, and Bruce DePriest Weather.
Good evening, everybody, but a good evening may turn into a bad morning on Wall Street if early trends overseas are any indication. Despite the U.S. market closing flat last Friday, the Tokyo market has plummeted more than 900 points in the first 2 hours of Monday trading there. The Hong Kong market, closed since Black Monday, reopened, but it's down 155 points. That'll make for chewed nails and blurry eyes on Wall Street tomorrow. Many brokers working today to catch up on last week's frenzied trading. And on Capitol Hill, leaders want to get to work on the budget now.
We're ready to negotiate. We recognize that this crisis was going to take place. We've been doing something about it. I've never said that, that we won't.
You approving a 3-year deal that protects job security while freeing GM to seek looser work rules. It's patterned after the Ford agreement, which forbids layoffs for most reasons, except cuts in production because of slow sales. The workers also get raises and better fringe benefits. The contract takes effect tomorrow. Well, the president says he can wait, but the Secretary of State says he can't. A day after the president said he's in no hurry for a summit with Soviet leader Gorbachev, Secretary of State George Shultz says a summit might not occur during the Reagan presidency if Gorbachev continues to put obstacles in the way.
Administration ends in January 1989, and as you get into the heat of the election campaign... The
Reagan presidency remembered with a memorial service today in New Haven. It was 4 years ago this weekend. 241 Marines died when terrorists blew up the U.S. Embassy compound in Beirut. And as Channel 3's Newton Burkett reports, for the families of the victims, the grief will never fade.
A solemn service in the early morning of a quiet New Haven Sunday.
You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Said today's mass wasn't just for him, wasn't just for the Connecticut Marines. It was for all the Marines killed in Beirut.
We have to be there. We're proud of it. Can't say much, huh?
The words don't come easily to Frank Shalaba, who now has only memories of a son who always wanted to be a Marine.
He was a great son. We're proud of him. What could I say that the father didn't say?
He was an outstanding young man, a great American, and he was one hell of a Marine officer.
They did a job that they were supposed to take care of and do. And they did the same thing in World War II, stood up and go.
Right after an afternoon fire at a Middletown housing complex. The fire believed to be accidental. It started shortly after noon. It took 30 firefighters a half hour to get it under control. The fire confined to apartment 8 on Maplewood. Volunteer firefighters in Milford, Michigan. 3 of them were killed today, a 4th seriously injured as they tried to put out a controlled fire in an old farmhouse. Authorities tonight still trying to figure out just what went wrong. It looks as if there will be no women in the race for the presidential nomination. Former UN Ambassador Jean Kirkpatrick announcing today she will not seek the Republican nomination. Kirkpatrick says she's not running for personal and political reasons. Earlier, Democratic Congresswoman Patricia Schroeder bowed out. Democratic presidential candidate Bruce Babbitt says it's too bad Jean Kirkpatrick isn't running, saying she might have raised the stakes on the Republican side of the race. Babbitt campaigning in Connecticut today, first in Stamford, tonight in New Haven. And
but I don't think it's going to be one on, size of checkbook. I think that programs are what win. Straight talk about the deficit, about how it is we become more productive in the workplace, investing in children, daycare, stating an agenda for the future.
Babbitt hoped to raise at least $20,000 at tonight's fundraisers. Well, one long race is being decided tonight, the race to determine who's the best in baseball. The Twins and Cardinals going at it in Game 7 of the World Series, and in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Twins lead the Cards 4-2. Phil Andrews has the update later in sports. And coming right up, you could walk or you could run, but the goal was the same, raising money for the United Negro College Fund. We'll have that story when the Night Beat continues. State police tonight apparently looking for a Bolton man wanted for a fatal hit-and-run accident last night. 58-year-old Grace Smith of Bolton participating in the United Negro College Fund Walkathon. Channel 3's Bertha Coombs reports.
When I drop this sign, that's when the walk will officially begin.
They would walk 10 miles through Greater Hartford to support education and opportunity. Many are students at area high schools, taking the first steps towards their own college educations.
Why are you participating in this walkathon today?
To raise money for